Welcome back to Days of Ruin. Next up is Mission 11, the first mission in the second story arc, and it's the mission that introduces us to Navy units, which I'm sure people who have never played this game before are probably interested, because Navy is something that the series struggles to balance properly. In this game, they've improved Navy just a little bit more, but probably still not enough to where it's actually viable for competitive gameplay. Now, I've been playing this ROM hack called Advanced Wars Story, and I kind of want to take a moment to shill it while this cutscene goes on. Advanced Wars Story, it's an Advanced Wars 2 ROM hack, and it does something amazing with Navy. It's got new Navy units that I think actually help out a lot in balancing Navy gameplay. Of course, it also reduces the price of all of those boats, so that's also a good thing. So, where were we in the plot? It seems Brenner and the rest of the company are bringing in yet more survivors, but they're gonna run low on supplies because even a facility like this can't keep up with all of the refugees if they just increase more and more and more. At least the people are being cooperative. That's always a huge help. But they don't know yet that supplies are running low. And the mayor is still being a problem, of course. You know, they never name that guy. It's really interesting how they just have this nameless NPC that does a whole lot of troublesome stuff in the story. Certainly are some differences in text boxes here. It would be so helpful right now if the sun would come out, but all those meteors, in case anyone didn't know, those meteors made a huge dust cloud and it's blocking the sun, which is being a huge problem. You know, it's amazing that the Earth hasn't frozen yet, because without sunlight it would freeze, I think. Don't ask me science-y questions. Doesn't Brenner remember that fight we had with the Lazurians in, like, Mission 7? Oh, come on, Lynn, it's a video game. Rumors are always true in video games. Hey, look, a new character. Don't get too excited. Davis, or Cole as he's called in Dark Conflict. That's interesting. Davis is yet another character like the Beast. In fact, he has the same theme as the Beast, which is interesting. He's yet another CO that's unplayable and doesn't really have any special abilities, so don't get excited. Of course, if you're playing that ROM hack by Igalau37, I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he's going to turn all of the characters, including some of the NPCs, into their own commanding officers with special abilities and stuff, so praise be to ROM hackers. Okay, so we're playing a Navy battle. Which means there's going to be a lot of explanations about new units, which should lead to lots of dialogue. First up is the newly created Navy unit for this game, the Gunboat. Gunboats are very inexpensive, and, something wrong, Lynn? Oh, come on, Lynn. A spare part? Knitting? Alright, so the gunboat, as she said, it can only fire one shot, and it also carries your foot soldiers. This unit is very inexpensive, only 6,000, and this is a good thing because, like the Black Boat from Dual Strike, having a inexpensive Navy unit that you can get right out of the gate that transports your infantry really speeds up the Navy gameplay, so that's very good. I want to check the range of this unit. Okay, so I should be able to attack with one of the gunboats. I guess I'll attack with the... Well, there's not really any need to capture anything. You know what, this is a, doing it right? Okay, cool. No desync yet. There's no real need to capture anything, so I guess I'll just do this. There we go. Now, as stated, they only get one shot, so you have to use a rig or a port to refuel them. Luckily, the rig has a very special ability in situations like this. Go over to any shoal. This only works on shoals, and you can build a temporary port. Same as the temporary airport, I like to refer to these as harbors, because I think a temporary port is a really weird name for it. Oh, and landers, they're back from Advanced Wars Dual Strike as well. Yes, Lynn, it's a lander. Very good. Bet there's an extra text box. Oh, she just asked Isabella for more info instead of doing it herself. So yes, you can tell Lynn is not exactly taking Isabella's military prowess very seriously. In fact, while I'm at it, I should mention that Isabella is actually a CO in this game. However, I'll spoil it right now, she is never used throughout the entire campaign, and I think that's really disappointing. There are trial maps with her, but, like, I think it's only a very short number of trial maps that she's used in. Oh, I've accidentally desynced the lander. Oh, well, that's okay. It's not like there's a lot more going on. Hi, it's Future Ephraim. I did kind of an oopsie and completed the mission without recording the tactics session for this mission, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that and then just splice this in before the actual gameplay starts. So here we go. The Tactical Tip Show. Oh, they went with Lynn's Counseling Corner for Dark Conflict. I think I like that better. Like, I think the characters should try and, like, steal the name for the show. Keep trying to name it after themselves. And hey, it's Davis. Oh, boy. You're not getting that from Lynn, Davis. I think I know why Greyfield keeps losing his temper with this guy. A gunboat and rocket combo. Okay, then. Yeah, this is still fairly rudimentary this early in the game. But still. Up the same line in both versions. Interesting. What about Lynn gave you that impression? Can't even remember the guy's name. Well, I think that's fitting, because we're not really going to see a whole lot of that character. Anyways, back to the actual gameplay of the mission. I've gotten the medium tank and the rocket onto the land here, so that's perfectly alright. So I think the yellow units are going to be AI controlled. So there's not much he's going to accomplish. He's basically just going to cap that one city, I think. And the air specialist has decided to take control of the naval units. That's not going to end well. Oh, she has a cruiser, but we do not. So, I don't really need to explain what a cruiser is, I think, because anybody who's watched 3 Let's Plays of the Advance Wars games probably already knows. Is this our first encounter with a rocket? I don't think it is. No matter. So, cruisers are still able to attack ships, and they're very defensive against other ships, but our gunboat should be able to do a decent amount of damage here. We'll finish building the port. So now it's, if you look underneath the rig, you can see that there's a temporary port now, and we can refuel at it whenever we want. So there's not many naval units on the enemy side left, just a couple gunboats. They haven't decided to go after that lander, which is interesting. I wonder why that lander's even there. Right, I'm going to have to control this with the cursor, the touchscreen. So as I was saying, Isabella is a CO in this game, and it's really weird for them to just design an entire CO along with a musical theme, and then just never use it throughout the main campaign. Actually, there are a bunch of COs that do not get their fair day in the limelight, as far as I'm concerned, in the main campaign. There's still the trial maps, which is interesting, I guess, but it's still very strange. Oh, it looks like Davis is going to have to deal with that mech. I think he can do it. Even he can handle a tank and an infantry. Well, my voice is not doing so good. Let's see, this medium tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'll just pull back to the city. There we go. Now we can land the other tank. And, yeah, 3 gunboats to 1. I think I can win this engagement. So, oh, in Dark Conflict, it's called a missile boat. I did not notice that until just now. It's very, very interesting. Go ahead and go all the way in. This one has its ammo back, right? It doesn't really matter, because as long as I have 2 or more with ammo left, I'll be perfectly alright. Avoid the artillery range. And go here. You can tell that I'm going for an HQ cap. Oh, whoops. This mission is short, so I don't really need to just switch to playing Days of Ruin exclusively. Alright, so there we go. I think we're good. You can handle yourself, right, Davis? Well, he only attacked with the infantry. The tank is just sitting there, and ooh. That might have been a little bit of an oopsie. The gunboats are ganging up on me. So, oh. Wait, where did the gunboat go? Oh, it's down here. It really has desynced. Okay. Okay. This got very weird all of a sudden. I guess I'll have to just do this, and is there a shoal I can drop on? I'll come down here. Don't worry, this will fix itself in a couple of turns. Alright, and down here. Oh yeah, we've got Lynn's theme for this mission, by the way. Kind of interesting. I guess she would be in command, I suppose. And I like Lynn's theme. Alright. So we're very close to an HQ capture. Don't worry, everything should be fine. Alright, so the tank just sits still and doesn't move unless it's able to attack something. Okay, then. So just a couple steps more and then we can capture. Oh, jeez. It's a good thing this is a short mission, because they still got tutorials they need to tell us all about. We haven't seen the battleship yet. Alright, time to... Wouldn't want to click the load button, that would be very disastrous. Okay. Time to get some ammo back. That was probably not a good position for the temporary port, but no matter. I don't think there's anything the blue team can do now. Oh, they've also built a temporary port of their own, which is very interesting. But I think they've basically ran out of options at this point. Just end turn. I'll take whatever score I got. No problem whatsoever. And mission 11 is done. And there's a couple of names being dropped, but I'll introduce them later. Alright, so S rank in Days of Ruin and in Dark Conflict. Also S rank. Very, very good. All three scores were over 100 points, which is nice. Very different victory quotes. The new Rubenel army, which is called the New Laurentian army in Dark Conflict. This is the second time we've heard that name. Yes, I'm definitely getting the impression that Days of Ruin's translation, again, is conveying the emotion in Davis's words better than Dark Conflict is. And word has gotten out that Brenner has been sheltering all sorts of refugees, so the new Rubenel army knows exactly what we need. A very good incentive for us to join them. Even though we would be getting involved in yet another war, even though the world has basically ended. Yeah, I suppose not even Doomsday can, like, cease all conflict, essentially. It's not like the entire world is going to go on a complete ceasefire. Alright, so Mission 12. Names of these missions are not too different this time around. Ah, and we are being introduced to Admiral Greyfield, known as Sigismundo in Dark Conflict. I bet you can already tell what this guy is supposed to be like. I mean, just the look of this guy should be raising all sorts of red flags, to be perfectly honest. Oh, guess who else is here? Oh good, Waylon's here. I can just hear the sarcasm. Yes, despite everything he said in Mission 7, Waylon has gotten back into the fold because the paycheck is just as much worth it as it always would be. What was that sentence? I talk strange. And they're really, like, jacking up the personality of Greyfield in Days of Ruin. So it's even more over the top. And this is just the start, believe me. Oh, and as you can imagine, Greyfield is this game's Navy specialist. Navy and helicopters for some reason, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Rubinel Sea in Days of Ruin, but Barum Sea in Dark Conflict. I noticed that difference. Very generic to just call it Rubinel Sea, because that could be anywhere. Right, so this is interesting. So in the previous map, none of the sea tiles were special in any way, like they typically would be for Advanced Wars, but Days of Ruin decided to introduce a couple of different sea terrains, and you can see where they are. See where they are. Oh, come on, the mission's about to start. You don't need to do all this talking. Alright, so it looks like, is Greyfield joining us on this mission? No, it's Waylon again. Okay, then. Alright, so I've talked about gunboats and landers. The cruiser is now under our control, so let's see if there's any text about it. No, there isn't. Okay. And now we finally have the battleship, which I think they talk about. Yes, here we go. A new change to the battleship is that they can now move and fire in the same turn, which is very powerful. I think they did this because they thought the battleship was too restricted, being able to only move on the sea, very expensive, and could not move and fire in the same turn. So they decided, we better give it the ability to move and fire at the same turn. Not a huge amount of damage, but I suppose the battleship is just defensive in that sense. And of course, the submarine is back too. Diving still works, but a change in this game is that when you build a submarine in maps where you're able to build new units, they start dived. They, like, you don't build it and then have to dive it on the next turn. You can just have them start as already dived, which is also nice. Of course, your opponent is still probably going to notice the drop in money when you buy one. So we can attack. Cruisers are still anti-sub ships, so I'm going to attack from this position. That should finish off the battleship. I don't need to dive right away. This one I think I will dive unless I can attack the... I can't attack the gunboat. Alright. So, let's see, I'll get rid of this to show off the terrain. There's rough seas, there's reefs like in the other games, and then there's sea fog. I think sea fog and reefs both hide units in Fog of War. And it's nice to have these new kinds of terrain. I don't know if they're really enough to make Navy any more or less interesting. Navy just hasn't been played a whole lot. But we'll see. Right, so the cruiser's going to be able to attack no matter what I do. So what do I do here? This isn't a one-shot. I guess one of my cruisers is just going to have to take a hit. Or one of my gunboats, rather. There we are. And we'll have the sub... Where should it go? Ah, I want it over here. They might find it, though. When you dive a sub, it has to be found by the enemy before it can be attacked, so... Maybe here is safe. And of course, our rig is going to build another temporary port. Not a temporary airport. What would I do with that? And it will automatically supply the gunboat on the next turn if it still has, like, enough hit points. We do have air units in this map, so maybe a temporary airport would be nice. We can build one up here if we want. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, I am not 100% certain I remember the rules regarding allied ports and airports. I think if you are allied with another faction, then you can use their airports and ports to repair, or rather, you can use their properties to repair and resupply. But I'm not 100% on that fact. So, Duster, you go. The Duster will go up here. And can I hit this gunboat? As a matter of fact, I can. But is that in range of the B-copter? It is not. So I will go ahead and do that. After I get back in sync here. Alright, I'll just use the touch screen for this one. There we go. This is still another short tutorial mission, so I don't imagine it's going to have much to it. But you never know sometimes. Why do we have a lander? There's no ground units to transport it with. Oh yeah, Wayland's here, by the way. He'll, hopefully he won't do anything dumb. Uh-oh, it's Calder. Oh no, is he gonna give the what? I can't remember the faction names. I bet he's gonna give the Lizurians more weapons. Oh, that sounds like an interesting new unit. Good chowder. Now, what kind of law would ban a particular weapon? Well, I guess that is pretty common. You know, I never understood all of this talk of honor when you're killing people, but I don't want to get into, Oh, it looks like Calder has been supplying them with weapons, but exclusively the conventional ones. Yeah, you're gonna do such an amazing job, Tasha. Yes, you've done an excellent job shuffling around your units and not attacking anything, but I don't think anything was in range anyways. Alright, so the question is... Can I hit that battleship? Oh, I can hit the battleship! So soften it up a little bit. And I know the gunboat is probably going to be lost, but whatever. And finish the job. That's how it's done. How much damage would a bomber do against the cruiser? I know cruisers were very weak defensively in Advanced Wars 1 and 2, but in Dual Strike they buffed it a little bit. But I don't know if it was really that big of a buff. Anyway, the sub should die. The sub is just not affected by the fog bank at all. Now, I guess the sea fog, or mist as it's called, mist and sea fog. I did not check for these kinds of differences. Okay. But either way, oh, the enemy has a fighter. That's interesting. Because we don't have, well, we have cruisers for dealing with that, I suppose. How much does the Duster do? Not a huge amount. But if Wayland decides to attack the fighter... I guess we'll do this. It's not like I took that much counterattack damage. I'm just banking on Waylon attacking the fighter in order to do some more to it. Okay. This is probably a little bit too reckless, but let's see what Waylon does. Okay, so he did attack it. That's good. Uh-oh. I was not paying attention to the submarines, and, okay. The two screens have thoroughly deviated, so after this cutscene, I'm probably just going to switch to Days of Ruin. But first, a cutscene. John? Or Jonathan in Dark Conflict. I think Tasha is referring to her brother, John, I think. I did not know he was named John. That's so funny, because in Advance Wars Alpha, I named the main character John. That's so awesome. In fact, she could be referring to Jake, because Jake in Japan is called John. Of course, losing her brother has made her very, very angry. She's not letting it go, not even after a meteor strike. Zadia does not like that one Disney movie. Ah yes, John was her brother. Okay. Just John in Days of Ruin, but Jonathan in Dark Conflict. So there are many Jonathans it could be. Such as Jonathan Morris from Castlevania, or Jonathan, that one soldier from Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, or just Johnny from Metal Gear Solid in general. Yeah, make up whatever theory you want. Alright, it is time to switch over to... Oh, you know what I almost forgot? I almost forgot to do this. Forgot to look at the tactics. And as I am recording this... Oh, hi, it's Isabella again. As I am recording this, I've just remembered that I forgot to do the tactics session for Mission 11, so I'm going to have to go back in there and record that off-screen, and then just edit it back into Mission 11. Wait, cooking, you're gonna talk about... I wasn't paying attention, so this is kind of out of left field. Rat stew? What? Well, as long as it's a stew and not rat ragu with powdered deer... word I can't say. Okay, good. So they're actually going to talk about the battle anyways. That was a close one. Of course, this is still kind of a tutorial mission, so it's not like there's much you need to know to clear this one, I think. That one was really weird. This is getting a little weird. Anyways, now we can switch to Days of Ruin. I'm going to be thinking about that tactics session for a while, I think. Alright, let's see, I hope I haven't completely lost all of my units yet. Let's see, there is a submarine here. I don't really need to destroy the gunboat. It's got no ammo, and they don't have a temporary port this time around. So, you go away, and gotta get rid of the bomber. Wow, the cruiser does 102 bombers. That is way more than I was expecting. So... Oh yeah, and by the way, now that I think about it, cruisers can still load B-copters and T-copters. They still have that ability, and they'll still get more fuel and ammo. Like, as little as that ability has been used, I think, it is still there, so it's still a very niche ability to have. I'm getting just a little bit paranoid, because that cruiser is there. I want to make sure it's out of the way before my battle helicopter goes in and starts doing stuff. Besides, Wayland's got the battleship covered. I guess Wayland's actually useful a little bit. So that's out of the way, and cruiser goes after the fighter because that's the only thing in range. These guys have to come back because I was being very bad with the battleship. It's lost a lot of health. Oh, there's no money for repairs, actually. That's interesting. So you can get fuel and ammo, but you can't get any repairs because there's technically no income here. That's very, very interesting. Oh, and the enemy can actually get ambushed, too, by the way. Like, you probably knew this if you played Advance Wars DS, because Dual Strike was the first game where the computer actually plays by the rules of Fog of War. It doesn't just automatically see you wherever you are anymore. But in Days of Ruin, for the first time, the game actually visualizes the ambushes. Like, you actually see when they get caught. Okay, so we can't... This is actually going to be a bit tricky. Because the submarine is actually almost out of fuel. It's got a little bit left. But there's not a lot of units that I can actually hit this last remaining cruiser with, due to my blunders earlier. Alright, I've got this cruiser, though. So that's a start. And the gunboat is gone. And the cruiser should very shortly also be gone. In fact, just surface. I don't expect a good score, but no matter. And since it's at such low health, the submarine does do something to it. Ah yes, I've forgotten to finish the Dark Conflict version first, so I'll be right back as I get to finishing the Dark Conflict version. Alright, I'm back. That didn't go quite as well as I planned. I got a little reckless. But oh well, mission's done. What's the score? What's the score? A rank on both games. That's fine by me. Not too far off from an S rank, I suppose. Captain Courageous's cabin boy. I love the alliteration. I like that they added a little pause in the Days of Ruin version. It gives the illusion of a couple of seconds passing. Anytime someone talks about proud blood of the nation, watch out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're name-dropping that one dystopia novel in Days of Ruin. Like, it's such a weird phrase to say. But then again, Namco Cross Capcom named its theme song those exact words, so who knows? Yeah, press X to doubt on that one. Random chaotic destruction, a test, of course. Ah, and we have Darwinism on top of that. I shouldn't call it Darwinism. That I actually feel that the word kind of doesn't. It would be highly inaccurate to name that after Darwin, if you ask me. How did you think that, Greyfield? Will has been working for Brenner for a while now. Oh yeah, unlocked a new CO for the multiplayer modes. Also, Greyfield in Days of Ruin apparently really likes hanging. So that's the end of that. That was a rather abrupt end to the mission. But next up is the Unlucky Mission 13, which is apparently going to feature Greyfield in some way, so that's going to be fun, I think. I'm going to go ahead and re-record that tactics session that I missed out on. So I'll see you for Mission 13 next time, everybody. Later.